Big Tell is an annual film contest for local student, amateur, or aspiring filmmakers. They apply and pitch us on an untold or undiscovered story about the six-county region of the Central Valley, and we choose 10 winners to receive a $5,000 stipend to produce their film, but then we also provide them with mentorship along the way.
When I think of our region, and we're talking roughly 3 million plus people, that's 3 million plus stories. And so when we partner with organizations like CMAC and PBS, we know that those stories are being told.
Not only is it amazing for those filmmakers, but it's also amazing for the community because they tell local stories, so we feel more connected through storytelling. So the community gets to see a range of amazing stories from across the valley, and I think that's so important for everybody to feel more connected to each other.
You know, before this work, the Big Tell came along, there wasn't that outlet in the valley the same way. Doing this work, sharing their voice, telling their story, and this is a natural place that they've gravitated towards to be able to develop it and share it in a different way.
This year, 2025, is the 9th year of the Big Tell, and we're looking forward to the 10th year and many more years to come. I'm just so excited every year to see all the different variety of stories that people pitch us, and excited for you to see the 10 that were chosen.
My name's Jackie Schuster, and my film is Growing Forward. Growing Forward is about some of the ways that land use has changed in the Central Valley and some of the ways that land use will continue to change growing forward. I've been really interested in California's water systems and water issues since I was little. And so that's kind of been a theme that's followed me through a lot of my work over the last few years. And so as I was doing some academic work with farming and the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act in California, I realized that there's some really cool ways that we're repurposing some land in the Central Valley, especially farmland. And so I thought it'd be a really fun way to showcase some of those changes and some of the really awesome work that's happening here through a documentary. I hope that viewers take away the fact that sometimes it seems really doom and gloomy when we're talking about climate change in the valley and how that is going to be impacting not only our environment, but also our communities and our economy. But there's a lot of work being done and a lot of really awesome work that's being done to try and sustain not only the health of our communities, but also our agricultural economy and also the health of our ecosystems here. My name is Jackie Schuster, and I'm the filmmaker behind Growing Forward, and I hope you enjoy watching. The Central Valley produces a quarter of the nation's food, and almost all of it depends on groundwater. Over time, as the land was farmed more intensely, that groundwater has been used faster than it can be replenished, leaving less available for both farms and communities. Now, under California's Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, the valley is learning to bring water use back into balance, finding new ways for farming, habitat, and community to thrive together.
This landscape is one of the most dramatically human-altered landscape in the country, maybe the world. It went from being entirely natural areas stewarded by native Californians to one of very, very intensive agriculture.
We've been able to build these really impressive and expansive agricultural operations. The Sustainable Groundwater Management Act is a piece of state legislation that is going to begin to limit the amount that we can pump from groundwater. Because of that, some of the formerly irrigated lands are going to have to come out of production.
Everyone agrees we need our groundwater table to be higher, but we also agree we all really want to use the water that's in the ground.
In the same conversations, we're worried about our economies and our industries. So many of our community members rely on agriculture for their jobs. The one sort of common ground is that everybody needs a future.
What Sequoia Riverlands Trust is trying to do is offer our knowledge and abilities to give landowners more options.
SRT has a vast array of work that it does across the Central Valley. Work that includes habitat restoration, long-term land management of properties that have been conserved, as well as lots of work on new projects and designing and developing new restoration projects.
I get the really lucky and special job of working with landowners, farmers, ranchers, and communities to talk about what we want our future to look like and what we want our lands to look like in the future, or sometimes more importantly, what we don't want them to look like. Balancing agriculture and the environment doesn't have to be this or that. There is definite gray area. We can see agriculture and habitat coexist.
Cahuilla Oaks Preserve is a really special place here in the Visalia area.
It's a great example of a remnant valley oak woodland. The oak stands above all the rest as being exceptional in the massive food chains it supports. In the previous few years, less rain, less groundwater, those things combined led to a significant die-off of valley oaks. Leaving aside plants and animals just for the moment, our wells that we use for our drinking water only are built to a certain depth. And so if the groundwater table drops below that depth, you don't have any more drinking water. Or you have drinking water that is now less diluted, and so it has a higher percentage of contaminants. So we knew we needed to increase the groundwater table here and also put more actual surface water on the landscape. We acquired a 19-acre abandoned plum orchard. We worked together with the Cahuilla Delta Water Conservation District to sculpt that abandoned plum orchard, allow it to accept water, and we saw really positive effects from that. We saw the groundwater rebound locally. We saw the oaks do really well. It's so valuable, not just for the function that it provides, but also to use as something that can be replicable. You really can have it all. You can have the recharge, you can have the floodwater layoff, you can have the groundwater benefit, and you can have the wildlife. There's no trade-offs involved.
It doesn't have to be like agriculture or houses. There's a lot of other things that land could do that provides the benefits to the community.
People are extremely innovative, and we've seen that throughout our history. Look at what we've accomplished so far, how we farm, how we move water across the landscape, what we've learned about our environment. And now we're faced with this different challenge. And so how do we get creative and innovative in using that water to provide the greatest benefit?
Farming is an industry that is so reliant on adaptation and experimentation, and farmers are used to making things work and doing whatever they can to see the next season out. So they're very adaptable, and they are folks that want to find a solution, and they're not just trudging forward in old ways. They are adapting.
When we purchased the property in 1997, we took it over and started the restoration project. I love the history of the ranch, and so early on we decided that we wanted to keep the integrity of the property with the wildlife and the conservation efforts. We have the largest blue heron rookery in Central Valley. The birds weren't coming back, and so it was really important for us to do a restoration of the riparian section of the ranch to ensure that the birds would not go away.
We use birds as indicators of environmental health. We're seeing populations of all groups of birds decline, and so how can we reverse that?
We started partnering up with Grasslands Education Fund, and it really evolved over a period of about 6 years.
The first idea was a wetland restoration project. What we're creating here is a seasonal managed wetland, so it's no longer naturally fed like it was 150 years ago.
They're flooded in the winter at certain water depths that provide quality habitat for migratory shorebirds and songbirds. A lot of folks started to realize their lands provided so much more than what it used to.
They play all of these other benefits outside of just providing wildlife habitat. Wetlands act as nitrogen sinks, so because there's so many plants in a wetland, any trace levels of nutrients like nitrogen, maybe coming off of a farm field, once that enters a wetland, it goes into the plant material. They act as kidneys of society.
We're 6 years into this process from when we first started, and we have many more years to go, and we're hoping just to keep improving on it and exposing the ranch to people that want to see what a sustainable farm is.
By repurposing this land, we can continue to grow the food that we need to sustain ourselves and provide the habitat that creatures that we love and the land that we love and the air that we breathe needs in order to be able to sustain life here.
We are really invested in a healthy future on the landscape.
And investment can mean anything. It does not mean money, it means time, it means care. I think it gets too easy to sort of brush away the Central Valley when really it's got a lot to offer and it's given so much to us.
My name's Adam Perez. I'm a filmmaker and photographer, and my project, The Last King, is about Aldana, the oldest living performing drag king. I first met Aldana a couple of years ago when I was organizing a festival called Tierra Mia, and the goal of the festival was to kind of highlight a lot of local talent here in the Central Valley. And I had listened to a KQED piece on her and was just mesmerized by her story. She grew up as a farm worker, worked the field most of her life, and started performing as a drag king in the 60s. Just learning her story, I learned about this rich history of queer culture here in the Central Valley, but also that she was the oldest living performing drag king. So I booked her for the festival, and that was kind of the beginning of our relationship. And so I hope they enjoy the film and go watch Aldana perform live. I think part of the magic is seeing her in person and witnessing what her artistry is.
On stage, I feel free. I feel freedom. I can really be myself. It's only for a little moment, but for me it's a lot. That moment, I feel like I'm in another dimension. I am Aldana, and I am the oldest performing drag king in the world. So I grew up, out on the farm, and my mother had us working out in the fields at a very young age. Pick potatoes, grapes, figs, pick cotton, you name it. I'm gonna say 7, 8 years old, I knew I wanted to perform. I would grab anything I could that would mimic a mic, and I would start pretending I was singing. Being the oldest, there were 7 of us. The first 10 years of my life, I was the only daughter, and my mother had an iron hand with us. And even when I was working in the fields, I worked harder than the boys. Growing up in the Central Valley and being out, it was difficult. I couldn't wait to turn 21 because I already knew there was a gay bar here in Fresno, and I had heard they had drag queens. So when I turned 21, I went to the Red Robin that weekend. I approached the manager and I asked him if I could perform. I auditioned for it in La Bamba, and they liked it. I got a big applause, and I was hooked. For a long time, I was the only drag king. From the 60s all the way to the 70s, I believe. In 1980, that's when I became Aldana. And ever since, I've been using that as my stage name. The Red Robin was right there, right in that space. Man, it's a shame. I wish they bring it back. I wish I could go back in time. I'm a poor farm girl. I consider myself now middle class poor. Do get my Social Security retirement, but that's not enough. And able to survive, I have to work every day. And if I don't work, I will be homeless. But it's difficult today for many of us. Not just me, I'm not the only one that's struggling like this. There's many of us. I'm not performing as much when I was young. I like to. I'm starting to again. But for how long, I don't know. When I perform, I like people to feel what I'm feeling. I've done a lot of acts, a lot of them, and all the ones I've done, I practice and practice and try to be better than them. I try to think what they're thinking in their head, and the body language is what tells me. I try to see every detail in that artist. I get inside them, and in my mind, I'm them. This song gets to me. It does, you know. And I tried, but I'm trying to. At first, you know, it would make me cry a lot, but I'm trying to, you know, phase that out some because I'm having trouble with you know, getting the words down, and but I know I want everybody in the audience to grasp it and feel it and understand, and I'm sure they will, especially those that don't have their moms anymore. Ya me gusta este, tan bonito este. What it means to me to receive the Guinness World Records of the oldest performing drag king in the world. I love it. I received it at 80 years old. I just turned 81, and I think I'll continue being the oldest years to come, for as long as I live. I always dreamed going to Hollywood. I wanted to be a star. Well, I feel it's happening, but in a different way. I'm getting a taste of it. There's more to come. There is. There's more to come. I feel it. But I never expected any of this that's happening today. So it makes me feel good and I feel proud. If there's any Mexican, Hispanics, drag kings in the future that want to be, you know, entertaining as a drag king, do it. Just give it all you have and do it from within your soul. How's that? Really? Okay, good. All right, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Es un gran honor para nosotros para presentar una pionera, una figura clave en la cultura drag, un ícono aquí en el Valle Central. Okay, give it up for Aldania, the oldest living drag king. Make some noise!
Tú eres la tristeza y de mis ojos que lloran en silencio por tu amor. Me miro en el espejo y veo en mi rostro el tiempo que he sufrido por tu adiós.
If I make it to 91 and still performing, I would say it was all well worth it.
Oscura soledad estoy viviendo yo, la misma soledad de tu sepulcro, mamá.
And that would give me great peace. And I would go straight to the light, to the spotlight.
Pero como quisiera.
My name is Christine Rose, and the documentary is called Stories in the Soil, Where the Delano Manongs Rest, Their Stories Rise. This documentary tells a story about my friend Devon and his journey in learning more about his family history. It also talks about their connection to the Delano Manong generation. And the Delano Manongs are a group of Filipino men who are pivotal in changing the trajectory of social justice in farm working in the Central Valley. It was important for me to tell this story, and I chose this topic for multiple reasons. Number one, as a way to share just a little bit about Filipino history, and also hopefully as a way to empower others, no matter what their background is, to dig into their family lineage and their roots. My name is Christine Rose, and this is Stories in the Soil, where the Delano Manongs rest, their stories rise. I truly hope you enjoy this documentary.
Imagine all of a sudden one day finding out where you live, you had so many ancestors live in the same area before you, but you just never knew anything about them. The shock that your body experiences, processing that you have to do when you find out how many relatives you had and the freedoms that they were never allowed to have. Testing. Can you hear me good? My name is Devon Antonio. I am a Central Valley native, and my family's been here for many generations. 43? 43. In 2022, I took a ride over to Delano Cemetery by myself just to clean my grandfather's headstone, because I'd never seen it before. As I was cleaning my grandfather's headstone, I began to notice that there were other headstones with various family names as my own grandfather. Between me and one of the office workers, we were able to locate about 50 individuals that shared family last names as my family's. I expected maybe to find 10, a dozen maybe, but when you receive a number like 50, you're like, whoa. That's a lot of family. If they were, a lot of them, bachelors or single men, it's like, were they forgotten? Because if I don't know about them and I'm like a great-nephew or a great-great-nephew of these individuals, it makes it seem as if their memory is just no longer here with us.
In the 20s and 30s, over 100,000 Filipino men flocked to America seeking new opportunities. They became migrant workers and followed the crop cycles all over the West Coast.
When you start reading about the stories of Filipinos here in the Central Valley, and when you start learning about the experiences and challenges they faced as migrant farm workers, it's a very hard truth to accept and to swallow, because anytime Filipinos would end up in certain cities here in the Central Valley, it's as if they were not accepted and they were hated for no reason, other than the fact that they were hard workers, and that led to them enduring many hate crimes. They had experienced having TNT dynamite thrown on them when they're sleeping. They had experienced labor housing camps set on fire. They had experienced people shooting guns right outside of their living quarters. And these all occurred in cities here in the Central Valley. So to know that this was what they had to face is disturbing. It's sad. It gave me more of a reason to learn more. I said, okay, I know that these gentlemen lived here, died here, worked here, and I need to go ahead and learn how to become a better researcher, a better learner, and more in touch with my culture, my heritage. That's really what it did for me, because I realized, wow, there's so much I don't know, and I absolutely should know. After I made the discovery of all these Filipino relatives that I didn't even know I was connected to, I knew I needed to become a better researcher, and I decided to apply for UC Merced, because I knew that the University of California as a research institution. I saw that they had a critical race and ethnic studies major. When I think about my purpose and my reason for looking into this part of history, looking into who the Filipino Americans of the Central Valley were, I realized that I'm doing it because it's a cultural responsibility. When I realized that so many of my Filipino ancestors were, in a sense, invisible, and I say invisible because there's a handful of them that are just buried at the Delano Cemetery. They don't have an actual headstone. They're just a marker in the ground. So I think that I wanted to go ahead and give them, my family, a little bit of humanity. If I could go ahead and learn how to make discoveries and learn how to excavate identities, that would be a way in which I could honor my ancestors by even just knowing a little bit about them.
I'm Deborah Youngquist, and my film is called Happy Trails. And Happy Trails is about an equestrian riding company that takes care of people with disabilities as well as people who are veterans. So I am a nurse, and I recently finished my bridge program to become an RN from an LVN. And in that class, there was a question about different therapies for children who were disabled, and one of them was riding. And I remember getting that question wrong. And I went home and talked to my husband about it and didn't realize that riding a horse helped children with disabilities. And he said, yeah, there's actually a place here in town called Happy Trails. I'm really hoping for Happy Trails that this allows people to know more about them and also possibly get involved with the different fundraisers that they do. It's really amazing work. I'm Deborah Youngquist, and this is Happy Trails. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Leslie Gardner, and I'm the Executive Director of Happy Trails Riding Academy. Happy Trails is a therapeutic riding center for children and adults with disabilities, as well as military veterans. We've been serving Tulare, Kings, and Fresno counties for 41 years, and we're so excited that you're here today. On a weekly basis, Happy Trails will serve about 75 riders a week that'll ride with us. And with that, it takes 90 volunteer positions to make that happen. So the volunteers are the true backbone of our program.
Welcome. My name is Charlene. I'm a volunteer at Happy Trails. I am responsible for leading a horse with a rider. I've been doing this since 2016. I love the interaction with the staff, with the clients, taking care of the horses, learning more about the operation. Other than the day-to-day routine of working with the students and the staff during their riding skills, the summer camp is a lot of fun. We have something for everyone. We always need volunteers, and volunteering is very rewarding, and we have positions that are available at any level, whether it's working directly with the horses or with the client.
I'm heading into one of our pastures to grab out the horse that's going to join us for class this morning. Hi, you guys. So we're looking for the horse with the blue fly mask. His name is Cash. And he's bringing his entourage with him. Morning, sir. My name's Nicole Payne. I am the Director of Services here at Happy Trails Riding Academy. I'm also an instructor, a certified therapeutic riding instructor with PATH International, and I'm also an equine specialist in mental health and learning. So I'm able to teach the majority of the services that we do out here. At Happy Trails Riding Academy, we offer a variety of different services. Our cornerstone service is called therapeutic horsemanship, otherwise considered adaptive horsemanship, where we're adapting what you would think of as regular horseback riding lessons or lessons in horsemanship to meet the needs of people that have a diagnosed disability. So we see a lot of folks on the autism spectrum, we see people with cerebral palsy, people with Down syndrome or other developmental disabilities or learning disabilities in that service.
Happy Trails, I believe, is a great organization, especially for us veterans that love horses, and they're doing a great job. My name is Donald Ansell. We moved here to Visalia recently with my granddaughter, and I have had horses for over 30 years, but now I can't ride them. We found out about this wonderful place run by Happy Trails, and so I'm in a program now, starting out with just grooming and then eventually, hopefully, be able to ride a horse again. I wanted to be a cowboy and join the rodeo earlier, but my mother would not let me out of the house. She said, "No, you're not going to do that." I just praise God that this outfit is here.
What do you think? Well,
Your name is? Lakea.
You gave me that name.
I gave you that name, yes I did. Hi, my name is Dolores Collins, and this is my daughter Lakea Collins. Lakea started here at Happy Trails about 3 years ago, and just recently she's gotten to horseback ride. So we did that during the summer. She was on a horse all summer long. What do you like about Happy Trails?
And it's fun.
That is fun. It is fun, isn't it? What do you do at Happy Trails?
I'm on the horse.
You get on the horse? Who's your favorite horse?
Cash.
Cash? Oh, how does Cash look? What color is Cash?
Like a brown.
Like a brown, oh. So Happy Trails has been a blessing for her. It's changed her where she is just so much more happier just coming here to see the horses, being able to horseback ride. That has worked on her core area. She has gait problems where she is off balance, and this has been great to work on her core and her balance. So she uses, as you see, she uses a walker in order to walk, especially on uneven surfaces, and she just enjoys the people here. The atmosphere and environment is so amazing.
We are now in the sensory trail. The sensory trail is 2 acres, so we needed to keep it a ponding basin, but also wanted to have some other place for our riders to ride in.
And in our mental health classes, this is a great place to practice mindfulness and just connect with the outdoors. Oh yes, looking around out here. We do that at summer camp a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look for,
Go down here.
yeah.
You good?
My name is Anana Baez. I'm 26 years old. I'm Happy Trails. I'm riding the horses, all of them. My name is Mo, Whiskey, Toby, and Dapper. Ride the horses, leash in the horses, walk on, and then I say, whoa. I like Happy Trails. And Toby. Yeah. I feel good.
My name is Melanie Stevie. My son is Charles Stevie. We first started coming to Happy Trails when he was 4 years old. Our pediatrician actually gave us the recommendation to come. He was mostly nonverbal. He has autism and ADHD. Therapy that they did was OT. A lot of his physical actions, whatever they were doing was helping develop his speech patterns, which was kind of cool. What we kind of liked most about Happy Trails is how they embraced him and his personality. place where we could come and we didn't have to worry about him being crazy or going wild or keeping him quiet. We could let him go, and they handled him, and he was calmer here, and he could just be himself.
When I say hi to Buddy, come on, Buddy, it's me. Smell my hand, all right? Hello, my name is Charles Stevie. I am 13 years old. I love Happy Trails. We have to be very quiet and no running so we can't scare the horse. Let them smell the back of your hand. And give them a pat on the shoulder or to say hi. I feel calm when I'm in the horse, and I feel independent when I come here. This is Jake. Come on, Jake. What I like about Jake is he always has good behavior. All right, I hope you like this video. Oh, and I hope you had a wonderful day at Happy Trails. I'm out.
My name is Sylvia Gonzalez S., and my film is about the senior citizens who are grasping the arts. It's called Retired and Inspired, and it's senior citizens who are using creativity in Kings County, and that's what my film is about, following Sig Acosta, or Sigfredo Acosta, who is a retired pediatrician. And his dream, as he's semi-retired, kind of transitioning off, is to be a stand-up comic. And so he came to the theater that I co-founded to learn and to maybe experience stand-up comedy. Luckily, we have a whatever open mic in which we bring him to the theater to do an open mic in front of an audience, and he does his first stand-up comedy routine there. I hope you enjoy.
Hollywood, here I come. De aquí para Hollywood. Okay, hello everybody. Hey, what's up, Don? Good. You ready for this? I'm ready for my coaching. I live here in Hanford. Been living here since 2014.
So you're a Kings County person now.
Yes, I am. I'm one of the three kings. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to have you perform tomorrow at open mic. So do you want to practice some things? And we got Don here, who's a director, who can like assist you on your presentations.
Yeah. I have a professional here, so what else can I ask for? I moved from Puerto Rico, and then I moved to Massachusetts, and there were a lot of funny things my kids were telling me, my patients. And then when I moved to Florida, I got a new set of patients and started all over with fresh material. Give us your joke. And he says, okay,
yeah, so what's the difference between broccoli and boogers?
So nobody knew what to say. So what's the difference?
The difference is that most kids don't like eating broccoli.
You get the line. You just take a while before you get. It's like a grenade. You shoot it and you put it behind there. It will boom. Oh, I get the joke. Thank you.
Not bad, man. But just try to find a humor that works for you. Make the point and go right on. And you got a good presence. You're not afraid. You get right up.
You did some improv with us. That's very new to you.
Oh yes. That is the best part. So yes, I love improv.
All right, well, this one here is from a play I did in Long Beach called, I played the part of an undertaker, and The Remains Can Be Seen was the name of it. This is an audition that I did for Budweiser. That one there, I played a priest. Me, a priest. And here we, there's me again. It was the top of the morning. And it was a thing that we did, a little film about a man that thought he was dying, and he wasn't. He spent all of his, well, I shouldn't, no, I'm not going to say any more because then I'm telling you what it is, and I want you to go see it.
I had always had a bent for art, but there was not always an outlet. And then you grow up and you're trying to make a living, there's no time for that. Everything happens so fast. But now that you're retired, you got all the time in the world. So why not do what you want to do? Now's the time. You're a senior. Who's going to tell you no? But now when I'm retired, reaching Hanford and finding the art scene so vibrant here, wow, you can't go wrong. And that's the whole purpose, is just to improve you.
There are other activities that seniors flock to. One such place are art classes.
Never really painted before, but I always had the desire to paint. And so when I was reading the local newspaper, the Hanford Sentinel, I noticed that they offered classes to the senior citizens.
In exchange for a facility to hold our meetings in, I volunteered to teach art classes to seniors.
There are other ways for retirees to get artistically inspired. A senior writers group, for instance.
It makes me feel like I'm still there, like my brain still functions, you know.
When I go to the computer, I feel it's very joyful.
I was a math teacher at Hanford High School for 30 plus years. It's always about the creative part, which is why I like improv so much. Developing a character in a play or a musical is fun and that's creative, but improv is, it slaps you in the face like a wet fish creative.
And some seniors are taking advantage of open mics, and that's where Sig will perform.
There you go.
Welcome to the stage, Sig!
Oh, now I hear it. Okay, all right. Okay, well, let's do this, huh? It's gonna be a little bit of a surprise for you because I wasn't prepared for this kind of tricks. So I asked him, so what's wrong with you? And he said, my ear hurts, okay? Oh, okay. So, which ear is it? What? Which year is it? You say, 1993. Oh, no, I mean, which year is it? Oh, my accent wasn't that good neither, or isn't that good anyway. So that was a joke for me. Is there any laughter around here? Okay. So they told me stop when there's laughter. So this is a good time. All right. Thank you.
So, how did it feel to go up and perform?
Oh, groovy. Feeling great. It's been a wonderful experience. And maybe keep working on my guitar. What else? I mean, there's no end.
Now Sig attends every whatever open mic to do stand-up comedy and sing.
You know I believe in how.
Find your art. Be inspired, something that makes you happy.
Something in your style.
You've got to have a reason to get out of bed every morning, or you don't have a reason to get out of bed every morning.
That I don't need.
Yeah.
No other.
Doesn't matter what it is. Just got to be something.
I now have the time to do it on a more regular basis. So it's one of my bucket list goals. I don't want to leave her now.
So after retiring last year, I had the time and energy to pursue something that I always wanted.
And I'm enjoying it. You're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know, I don't know. You stick around now, it may show. I don't know, I don't know.
Hi, my name's Karina Azitis. I'm the director for the short documentary, The Joy of Lao. The story came upon me by accident. I happened to meet the subject of my doc, and we just struck up a conversation and found out she's quite a dynamic individual, and her story was inspirational to me. And she has been the spearhead for her Lao community and has brought the culture to the masses in Merced, where we have now an annual parade, and also it's a national boat race event now. It hit its second annual this year, and it was a tremendous turnout. What means the most to me on this film and what inspired me to share it was because I think nowadays people are more discouraged than encouraged and feel somewhat powerless. And for Sue's story to come out, I think will encourage others. And it's a story about inspiration and encouragement and go get after the things that you desire and want. My name's Karina Azitis, and I'm the director for The Joy of Lao, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
So basically the credit I get, credit, that's 92 for this last month, and it goes to a gas.
Oh, so pays for itself.
Yeah,
I started the first thought of doing a Lao New Year celebration in the heart of downtown so we can share our culture, our heritage, and traditions to the masses. I wanted everybody in our community to see the beautiful colors and traditions and just how beautiful our culture is. My passion is representation, making sure that our community is recognized, making sure that we have opportunities like everybody else. I sat down with my uncle and just said, why can't we do a Lao New Year for our community? He said,
I would say, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not, the logistically, it's not simple as what you thought. That's what it came into my first impression. In Merced, we don't have a temple. In most of the Lao community, when they do the Lao New Year, they will do in the temples. And then I said it to her that we don't have a temple, so what would we do?
So that was one thing that I got a little bit of pushback, from some of the elders, like, are you sure you're ready? And that was the reason why I made sure that I learned how to do a lot of things before I even brought up that idea to any of them, which meant embedding myself with nonprofits in Merced, learning from mentors that showed how to do events or how to speak to government officials, how to work with the city officials and the community. I had to learn how to close the streets and do events beforehand.
And I think we really got to know each other during Leadership Merced, and I think that was around 17 or 18. And we're in this, cohort together of a group of other like-minded individuals who wanted to be a part of Merced or know more about Merced. She's been such a big part of the community in downtown, and she's a community activist, and she's always been involved somehow. So we did that together and really got to know each other through that experience.
I was ready, but I didn't know if my community was ready for it yet. And I don't know if the elders were going to accept me for it, but I just said I was going to just do it.
So on my part, I have to actually to convince our elders. I told her that, are you sure on this? She said, yes, I'm sure.
I was ready to do the Lao New Year since I put so much sweat equity into a lot of these events and, just did everything volunteer with them. It was hard for them to come say no. It's their turn to help me out too. So, so that's how it's supposed to work, right?
Oh my gosh, she's outgoing. She's a force to be reckoned with, man. She just has an energy about her, and when she puts her mind to something, she makes sure that it happens.
My mindset was already, let's all do it together, because the more people that come together, it's going to be easier for us to get the work done. But if I didn't have any support, I was just going to figure it out.
when I saw the community get together, I saw our kids enjoying it, and the elder that they enjoying it when they see that when we get together, make me really happy. The great return to me, it was our people that get together. Actually, I feel like, yeah, at least we Laotian up on the map in this city.
I remember crying at the Lao New Year parade, the first one, because we're setting up the parade, just getting everybody all lined up, and you see everybody, and it was just like the last person went, and I just bawled because it was such a proud moment that we pulled this off. Like our community, the Lao people pulled this off, you know? I just was just like, just overwhelmed with just feelings and emotions during that time.
More recent, right? We're talking about the boat races. You know, they had to get permission through the County Board of Supervisors. I talked about it and like how great it would be, but it almost seemed like an impossibility. But with the help of Josh Pedroso, our district supervisor, helped them make it through, helped them make it happen because I think because of the past, you know, the events, the parades, how successful that is, how it incorporates who we are as a community, as Merced. And so they got it through, you know, they got to use the Lake Yosemite.
I want to break that door open, that barrier, and maybe motivate the next generation too, that they put something together, they put their mind to something, they can accomplish whatever, you know? Just dream big. You don't have to set at just a bare minimum of checking in a job 9 to 5, you know? Dream about something, like what is it that you want to do? How do you want people to remember you? You know, I don't want people to remember me by what car I drive or what house I live in, or I don't want them to remember me like that. I want them to remember me by the difference and impact that I made on a whole different level, not just my own, but just in the whole masses, not just Merced. Right now, it's just, I want them to recognize that there is a movement. There are people that want to, you know, preserve our culture and, you know, is doing whatever it takes to make sure it happens. Building relationships is very important, and that's the only way that you can move things is by the people you know and who you surround yourself with.
My name is Marcos Dorado, and I've been a visual artist for the past 20 years. The real story, all about family at the Madera Drive-In, marks my debut as a filmmaker. My documentary revolves around the family bonds that are created at the drive-in, not only with or among the family that owns the Madera Drive-In, but also within the families that have gathered there at the drive-in throughout the generations now. My favorite part about this film is uncovering how deep-rooted in the family the drive-in in Madera is. They have been involved with the drive-in industry over various generations now. The people that we interviewed, they had amazing stories of when they were little, when they came with their grandparents, and now they're bringing their children. My name is Marcos, and my documentary's title is The Real Story, all about family at the Madera Drive-In. I hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed creating it. Nestled within the city of Madera, California, the Madera Drive-In has been playing movies for over 7 decades. Since the 70s, the business has been a family affair for the Grand family.
In the late spring of 1972, my father entered into some negotiations and ended up purchasing the El Rio Drive-In, which this is what the Madera 2 Drive-In Theater was originally called, El Rio. The Fresno River's literally a block away. The summer of 72, I spent my entire 14th summer up here working and helping rehab the drive-in and get it ready to open and make it up to my dad's standards, so to speak, because we'd already been in the drive-in business for a while, so we sort of had our blueprint on how to operate a drive-in.
The Grand family didn't just buy a local business, they acquired a piece of history. Built in 1948, the Madera Drive-In is the oldest functioning auto cinema in California. It was here in time for the golden age of drive-ins during the 50s, when there were nearly 5,000 drive-ins across the country. And though only 200 drive-ins exist today in the U.S., Bobby's passion for this unique American pastime carries on across generations today.
I've been coming to the Madera Drive-In since the late 70s as a kid. My dad would bring us all here. It was certainly less expensive than going to the movie theaters. That was one way for the whole family to have fun without it getting too expensive.
Coming to the Madera Drive-In since I was a child, it's just a family tradition of ours. Since I've been in diapers, my grandparents have made it a family thing to always do.
The drive-in creates unique family experiences that, over the years, become lifelong memories. At times, families even sell out the weekend in pursuit of those moments.
During our busiest nights, it's not uncommon for us to sell out sometimes 20, 30 minutes before actual showtime. And I'm referring to the Friday and Saturday opening. Lilo and Stitch is a perfect example of this. We were turning people away literally 20 minutes before showtime because we could not fit another car on site. The drive-in movie theater industry has always been associated with America, and worldwide reputation of the drive-in movie theater industry is it's a little bit of Americana. And America has always embraced the automobile. So their experience, a drive-in movie experience, always includes an automobile of some sort.
And today, the drive-in enjoys new patrons, in part thanks to modern technology like the internet and social media.
I was just searching on my phone what to do here in Fresno, and it told me, Madera, you could come over here to the drive-in theater, and I was like, why not? My first time that they took me to a drive-in movie theater, and honestly, I thought they were extinct by this point.
I'm coming from Fresno, so it's like, if you're not around Madera so much, you probably won't hear it often. But on Facebook, everything is out there, so I seen a post, and I was like, oh, so they are showing movies, and this is the last week, so we got lucky.
The family is still the main driver, our bread and butter, and so we continue to book heavy PG rating type movies and PG-13 movies for maybe a little bit older kids and non-offensive to younger kid type movies. But we still play R-rated movies, obviously.
I'm excited to see The Conjuring, but also spending time with my family in like a new setting, because like movie theaters, it's like pretty dark and like it's a difference being outside and in the drive-in movie theater.
It's a balance of new drive-in experiences with those who have made it a family tradition.
I've been coming here to the drive-in regular since I was a child, my childhood. My mom and dad, tonight, me, my son, my daughter. For the community, I'm really happy that we have the drive-in. There's not many more of them around. Most of them all closed down. So, I mean, it means a lot to be able to come out here with your family, just sit in the chairs, back of the truck, whatever, and enjoy a good movie. Togetherness.
The family tradition isn't limited to moviegoers like you and me.
It also includes Bobby. For him, the drive-in is woven into his family's history.
The greatest joy that I have with the drive-in movie theater is it's something that my dad did. And I think from the very beginning, I always wanted to make my dad proud. And it's sort of a passing the torch down through the family. So this is something that I do not ever plan on selling. And I have a son that's in the industry, and I plan on passing it down to him, and hopefully he'll pass it on down from there. But so the greatest joy I have is, one, making my dad proud, because I'm sure he's watching. And I'm sure at some point later on, when I do run into him, he'll tell me everything I did right and everything I did wrong, and as it should be. Well, in closing, if you haven't been to a drive-in movie theater, or you haven't been to a drive-in movie theater in a while, it's probably a good idea for you to come back and experience a little bit of Americana once again with either your kids or significant other, and enjoy the big screen, as every director in Hollywood would want you to enjoy the big screen rather than being on a small screen television streaming. Our staff and the Graham family thanks you for being a patron.
Pretty classic, just some popcorn and some kind of chocolate candy.
Either Hershey almond, the popcorn, and definitely soda.
We got ourselves some pizza, and we want to enjoy some nacho cheese on top of that.
I saw some really good options in there though. Like we were talking about something about like was it like a burrito or
for $4.
Come to the drive-in here in Madera, California.
So my name is Jeremy Miller. I am an amateur filmmaker here in Fresno, California. I'm kind of an all-around creative. I sing, I dance, I do it all. I can get in front of the camera and behind the camera, but as of late, I've had a really good time showcasing others, or really trying to elevate the voices of others who are doing wonderful things in our community. So my film is about the Fresno State Red Wavettes, which is a majorette team, the first majorette team in the Central Valley. And it has been a wonderful time getting to know them and getting to see all the different things that they're doing. I think my favorite part about the film is really just being able to see women, and even more specifically women of color, really create spaces for themselves. So just to be able to tell the story and to witness it firsthand, I'm just so glad to share it, really. So my name is Jeremy Miller, and my film is named Rhythm in Motion, Culture and Power, and thanks for watching.
Because it's about legacy, visibility, and empowerment. It's proof that representation matters and that art can be a vehicle for change. The Red Wavettes are showing what's possible when you mix cultures, courage, and community. It's bigger than us. It's paving the way for others to see that Black excellence, as well as excellence from all cultures, creativity and leadership belongs everywhere, even in places that have never seen it before. I was inspired to start the Red Wavettes because I wanted to create a safe space for our culture, and I wanted something that celebrates beauty, discipline, and the empowerment, and I wanted to bring that from the HBCU culture back to Fresno State, or back to the Central Valley. So when I went to Fresno State, I graduated 2015, but I didn't start it, but I joined Dance Express in 2012. So after that, majority of the women already graduated, so then I kind of kept Dance Express going. Dance Express was just more, it was like the Red Wavettes, but we did not dance in the stands. We only danced at one halftime performance at the basketball game. That's as far as we got. And then we had a showcase at the end of the year. So fast forwarding to 2019, COVID hit. I had to stop Dance Express. So after that, I ended up going into a showcase, and I ran into one of the old dancers from Dance Express, which then became the captain of the Red Wavettes. And that's when the Red Wavettes first started. It was because in 2023, Kent Willis actually gave me the idea to start the Red Wavettes. He was the one that said, "Oh, have I ever thought about changing it from Dance Express to a majorette team?" Um, for me, I feel like a lot of the dancing that I was seeing was more ballet or contemporary or modern. I don't want to say more traditional styles of dance, but I feel like we get away from hip hop, or we get away from now what is majorette or dance line. Dance line honestly is a culture within itself. Um, and being that it does mix everything together, it shows basically how broad that dance is. And it's not all technique, but it's also personality. And if you do have the technique, you have to make sure you show your personality with it.
I feel like people respond to it so strongly just because it is something new, and also how we brought about the weight vets. Like, we bring this sort of confidence when we walk about it and how we do our moves. And even though that a lot of people might not be with us and be rooting for us to be on the fields or to do what we do in the stands, that we continue on. Like, it's not stopping us from doing what we're doing. And then that we know that we are those girls, or we can continue to do what we do. And just because you don't want to see us doesn't mean that there isn't somebody out there who does.
If you look at a lot of the girls, you can see their confidence start showing through. And I feel like we really are promoting leadership. So you can see, if you follow them as when they first started, a lot of my girls were shy. A lot of them start off as shy, but you're performing in front of a lot of people. There's no room to be shy.
Dancing with this team has made me feel very powerful. I would say that it has given me a different boost of confidence. I used to be on dance teams before, but being on the dance team now, especially having to take on the role of captain, I had to come out my shell a little bit. I do not like public spaces, and I do get stage fright a lot, which is kind of the things you wouldn't expect as a dancer. But knowing that my passion is dancing, I've always been dancing, it kind of just reinforces that mindset.
If you meet these girls, just meeting them on the street, nicest girls in the world. But once you see them dance, it's like a switch that turns on, and it's like, okay. So they just turn from, I don't want to say a girl, but they turn from a girl to a lady. And then you can also think of it as you turn from a lady to a woman. So they're now representing themselves as women. Some of it are portrayed the wrong way, and we have gotten comments saying, "Oh, I didn't come to the game to see strippers," or "I didn't come to see that style." But the thing is, it's not. It's embracing their femininity. It's embracing them being a woman and being able to express that. Basically, there's just their strong presence and knowing that they can put bold movements as well as still express their beauty. So they're not running from their beauty. They're not running from who they are or their culture. So I wanted to make sure I brought that back to Fresno State. It's just one of those, you see their confidence and you see how empowered they are. You see basically just their strong presence.
I would say the Red Ray bets have definitely empowered me. It's definitely helped me come out my shell a lot. but it's also empowered me in the way of just the confidence of being, like I said, that girl, just knowing that you are that person that you think you are and striving to be that person and to even be better than that person that you're trying to be, that's never going to stop. The things I want people to remember about the railway that's 10 years from now is the resilience of the team, the adversity that we had to face, trying to bring this to the campus, the resilience that we continued on, even though we had a lot of people have things to say about the team and how they feel about having us on campus, that we don't need anything new here, or why bring something when we already have all these other things. So my main thing would be resilience. But I would say my second part would probably be just the fact that the railway bets made history.
So my name is Kristen Lesko. I'm the director of Still in Print, which follows Greg and Nicole Little, husband and wife owners of the Mariposa Gazette, the longest running weekly newspaper in the state of California. As newsrooms across the U.S. shutter, this short film gives a hopeful glimpse inside local, independent journalism, right here in the Central Valley. I hope you enjoy the film.
There's an old phrase that they used to use here. The phrase is, everybody reads the Gazette. My name is Greg Little. I'm the editor and co-owner of the Mariposa Gazette, and I co-own it with my wife, Nicole.
I'm Nicole W. Little. I'm the publisher and president of the newspaper.
Nicole is responsible for everything.
I'm the boss at home and at work.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
I want to take that though, because there are times we have to make a decision on something, and she makes it.
And I'm not afraid to tell him he's wrong.
Yeah. They bring the papers in Wednesdays. We still use a 1920s labeling thing.
This is the 100-year edition from 1854 to 1954. This is from 1865. It's got the Lincoln assassination in it.
It's the oldest weekly newspaper in the state of California. So right now, what do you have that has to go? We have 2 full-time reporters and myself, and then we have another reporter in Eastern Madera County. All right, so let's do animal control on A11. Gail Dreyfus in for sure. And the blind goat. I've got 7 elements already for the front page. Blind goat I have on my list, hoping I can get it in. Because of the small newspaper, everybody does everything. That's how it is. You answer the phones, you take classified, you do all that stuff.
If we could have a little bit more staff, that would be great and helpful, but we're only once a week, so. And we have great employees too. Did you hear me? Great employees. This is Discover Mariposa County, and it just highlights things to do in Mariposa County and Eastern Madera County.
Advertising is everything. That's what funds this place. We added 4 special editions since we bought the paper. It's a dual thing. You want advertising and you want to serve the community. We're a small county, population-wise, 17,000, but we get 2 million visitors a year. Half of our county is Yosemite National Park. So it's a really unique place.
Sports are huge here in Mariposa. They're definitely into it. When I go to the games, typically people know who I am. A lot of times I don't know who they are and they approach me and they know my name already and they come and make an effort to say hi. So they love seeing their kids in the papers.
A lot of newspapers have gone away from that now. If your kid's on the honor roll, there's a picture of them in the play at school, they cut that out and hang it on the refrigerator. That's where the term refrigerator journalism comes in. That's one of the things we have instilled in this is local, local, local. How's it going?
Good.
Good, y'all ready?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, good job! Yay! And I'm glad you liked it, because I was like, well, he hasn't said anything, so we must like it. Well, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Later. Thank you, guys. Greg had been let go, and I remember coming home from work one day. He was like, hey, check out this ad I saw.
It said, need somebody to come work for us with the possibility of buying the newspaper. I was to the point where I was ready to leave journalism because I've seen what the corporate mentality has done to newspapers, which was hard for me. I love this business. We drove from Idaho to here in end of February 2016, and a month later we moved here.
Everyone thought we were crazy. They did.
And they still do. And they may have a point.
This goat, I'm sorry, this baby goat is adorable. I don't know.
Adam made it. Adam the blind goat. This week there are 2 stories about the DA, the follow-up. Just 2 weeks ago, we got a tip from a guy who said he was selling drugs for over a 2-year period to our sitting DA. We made a decision to go to law enforcement. The sitting DA resigned 3 days later. It's probably right there with the biggest stories we've done since we've been in Mariposa. We have a story about a development up in Lake Don Pedro, a meeting Madison went to in North County. Had an audit story, pretty important story that I got in. And you have your blind goat. All for $2. Not bad. Not bad. This was last year, the French fire. If you look close, that's the high school. So that's, in this business, that becomes your life. I mean, that was our lives for the next month, trying to get the word out. Here's this, here's that, here's what you can do, here's where you can get assistance, and we just dedicated ourselves to that. It was frightening. So, but again, we jumped in and gave people, only a couple homes were lost in that fire. We thought it was going to destroy the town. Our goal here is to keep journalism alive. We can make a difference for people. That's why we're here today.
My name is Mandeep Singh. The film is called The West Was Ours 2, From Forgotten to Clovis, Fresno. The film really explores, in some ways, the working class kind of Punjabi community that really started migrating west of 99 in the early 90s, and really some kind of major key points in terms of the community's history and evolution. Currently, I serve Central Unified School District as a trustee, so my wife is from this area, so it's an area that's always been kind of special to me, even if I grew up more towards the Madeira side. But really thought that there was an opportunity to kind of tell a story that just hadn't been told yet. For West Fresno residents, a little bit somewhat of nostalgia, somewhat reminiscing of a history somewhat changed, somewhat new, but also parts even forgotten. And probably for the Punjabi community there, maybe some reflections on their own past and their own memories of growing up in that area. My name is Nandeep Singh. The film is called The West Was Ours Too, From Forgotten to Clovis, Fresno, and I hope you enjoy the film.
My name is Baldev Virk, and I've been a resident of West Fresno for the past 30 years. This is basically where I grew up. I immigrated here from Punjab in the early 90s, and this is kind of where the life in the USA began for me. Earliest memories I remember is, would there be a day that I can ever touch this? Because it seemed it was so far high, so I thought if I could hang on those things, I could maybe dunk. This was the first apartment where I lived in when I came into this country. I actually slept in the living room, and that was okay.
On government maps, West Fresno was literally colored red, largely aimed at segregating Black and Mexican working class communities. Smaller groups like Punjabis were also pushed into these zones, denied mortgages, and excluded from the opportunity to build wealth through home ownership. These policies created concentrated pockets of poverty while channeling investment toward segregated, predominantly white suburbs to the north and east. Meanwhile, suburban blight spread across the west side as grocery stores and small businesses declined, infrastructure crumbled, and city resources flowed elsewhere. West Fresno families, many of whom had farmed the Central Valley for generations, found themselves caught in neighborhoods burdened by environmental neglect and economic disinvestment.
This is the streets where we played. I mean, learned how to ride a bike here. We used to play basketball. I rolled so many ankles on this street. Highway 99 being moved about 15 years ago, and then the high-speed rail also coming in and acquiring a lot of the land. A lot of the existing businesses were just removed or just bulldozed down, and typically people thought that those businesses would be moved somewhere else and it would just still be part of West Fresno. However, most of the time those businesses were gone forever, and once again it just kind of felt like you were abandoned.
ਆ ਸਟੋਰ ਖੁੱਲਣ ਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਚਲੋ ਨਾਲੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਆ ਨਾਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਾਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਰੀਜਨੇਬਲ ਰੱਖੀ ਸੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਉਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਜਾਣੀ ਫਰਿੱਜ ਲੋ ਚਾਹੀਆਂ ਫਰਿੱਜ ਲੋ ਚੀ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਕਈ ਐ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਲੜਾਕੀ ਆ ਬੁੜੀ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੜਾਕੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਜਾ
ਇਹ ਨਾ 1995 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੋਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਜੇ ਕਿਚਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਖੇਤ ਹੀ ਜਲੇਬੀਆਂ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਦਬਦਬਾ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਤਾ ਵੀ ਦੀਵਾਲੀ ਤੋਂ ਮਠਿਆਈਆਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਦੀਵਾਲੀ ਤੇ ਮਠਿਆਈ ਵੇਚੀ।
ਗੁਰਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਠਿਆਈ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾਹਰ ਸੀਗੇ ਮਠਿਆਈ ਦੇ। ਮਠਿਆਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੂਰ ਤੱਕ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਨਿਊਜ਼ਾ ਤੱਕ ਲੋਕ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲਿਜਾਂਦੇ ਰਹੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੁਣੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੀਗਾ, ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇੜੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਸਾਰੇ ਭੱਜ ਕੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ। ਬਦਲ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ, ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਖਾਣੋਂ ਹਟ ਗਏ ਆ, ਬਾਹਰਲਾ ਫੂਡ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ।
It was winter, so it was foggy and it just must have been very scary, and this car just stopped.
Amrik Singh Bal was walking near his home early Saturday morning when he was attacked by two men. According to police, they got out of the car, punched him repeatedly, then got back in the car and hit him with it. Fresno police and federal authorities are investigating it as a hate crime since they believe the man was targeted because of his turban, beard, and traditional Sikh clothing.
When I arrived on scene, I was able to interview him, and because I speak Punjabi, I was able to talk to him and determine that this was actually a hate crime incident.
We feel most safest, it's west of 99. Well, that was a wake-up call. What I was thinking, like, everybody knows who we are, everybody knows who Sikhs are, but at that day was proven wrong.
And that we don't know our backyard as well as we thought we did.
100%, that is so true.
This area feels home. You know, we actually come from a bend, and I'm very used to living in an openness where I see animals, where I see farms. I can easily move wherever I want to move, but I choose not to, because my goal is to be involved and serve this community. So from 100 years from now, when people say, you know, there used to be these Punjabi people, they did this, I want to make sure they remember us, saying, hey, you know what, these people did that. So like currently we're working on the West of 99 plan, making sure, you know, we have more businesses, more medical facilities, more homes, more sidewalks. You know, it just feels at home.
Growing up, I don't think I knew anything better than what was home, what was this, because this was everything to us, right? It was family, it was friends, it was our life. And growing up, as I got older, I started to notice what wasn't here. I saw communities that were thriving here before had to leave.
It was crazy because when these lots would get a board up or a sign up saying a new store is coming to town or a new place to eat is coming to town, we would get so excited about it. And then too soon that excitement just died because either the store never came or the ones that did come, they picked up shop and they left.
ਸਾਈਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਟ੍ਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਏ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਦੋ ਸਕੂਲ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਣ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਜਾਣ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਾਧਨ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੱਧਰ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਸੇਵ ਆਰਟ ਬਣਿਆ ਬਸ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲੇਬਰ ਕਲਾਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਸਸਤਾ ਮਾਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ
But what I love about West Fresno is it's always resilient. Given nothing, thrown the breadcrumbs of everything, people are still trying to thrive. They're still trying to make this a place to be. Little things like where they take care of their front yards. The city may not be fixing stuff, but the residents are.
The youth were saying, we feel that West Fresno is connected to us because it's related to our jar, but we don't really feel that it's actually our guard. So they felt that it is connected to them because there is a feeling that their roots are there, but it doesn't completely feel like home. And we wanted to change that.
Only as the Central Unified School District celebrated its newest elementary school set to open this fall. It's the first in the nation to be named after a Punjabi individual, Sikh human rights activist Jaswant Singh Kangra.
Yep, still the same.